So, son, you want to know what the difference between the Democratic and the Republican Party is? Well, first of all, you need to understand that the Republicans are not evil. No, the Democrats are not evil either. Both, I mean, there's bad people in both parties, and there's good people in both parties. But the thing is that both parties are trapped in the way our campaigns are ran. The Republicans, well, they pretend to be concerned about the working class, working people, where Democrats actually are concerned with working people and try to help the working people, where Republicans try to help the very wealthy. Republicans have a philosophy that if they give all the money to the rich, some will trickle down to the people at the bottom. But this never works. All that happens is the rich hoard it all, and the poor people, well, they end up on the streets. They end up without food or housing, without medical care. And the rich become richer and richer until you reach a day where the public says no more, and they rise up, and there's a bloodbath like there was in France a few hundred years ago with guillotines and all. That's something we don't want. But unfortunately, we're locked in a system that isn't allowing for change. You see, the problem is, to get elected, you have to raise so much money to run campaigns. You know, for ads on TV, radio, on the internet, to be able to put ads in the paper, to have staffs, to rent spaces, to hold meetings and rallies. All this costs a lot of money, and so where's that money come from? From donors. And when you have these multi-billionaires putting money into your campaign, then you're beholden to that person once you're elected. And here's the example. Let's say somebody makes those baby buggies, you know, that they push babies around in. And there's a bill in Congress that's going to put more regulation on those baby buggies to make them safer. Okay? Now, that's going to cost the producer, the manufacturer, more money to do this. So he may figure his equipment is safe enough as is, and there's no need for it. And so he wants the people that he's helped pay for to get elected to vote against it. Now, let's assume you are convinced that that bill needs to be passed. So you follow your conscience and you vote for that bill. Do you think that guy's going to give you money come next election? In the House of Representatives, they get elected every 2 years. And that means that after they're on the phone a good percentage of the time trying to raise money to run for the next campaign. And with that, they end up being beholden to those people. It's a catch-22 where even with those who really want to help the working man are trapped because they can only do so much. This is why we need full campaign finance change. What we need to do is to make a system where once you get enough signatures to get on the ballot, you're given X amount of money to run your campaign, so much airtime on the radio, on the TV, on the internet, to put out your advertisements. And it's regulated such as you can't put out lies saying, my opponent eats babies, okay? Something outrageously dishonest. Well, that would lose you advertisement time. So you have to stick with the honest. No more of this nasty mud flinging and lying. So, and if we did that, that would take big money out of our campaigns, and we would get both parties working to help everybody. There's nothing wrong with being rich, but there's a problem with being super rich, so rich that other people don't have. Now, you know, I see these lotteries, you know, they come out these big, huge, massive Powerballs and all. And then I see on TV these mega yachts. I go, oh, that'd be so cool to have. But you know, I could never have, even if I won all that money, I would never feel comfortable on one of those types, owning one of those yachts, because I know all the people living on the street going without. And for me to have that type of luxury, while other people are doing without, I just would feel super, super guilty. And so, if there was no poverty, if everybody had more than enough to live on, then there's no problem being super rich. The problem is, to have a super rich, you also have to have a super poor, and that is the problem. And that's what we have to change. We can only change it by changing our campaign financing, so it no longer relies on big money from the wealthy to get elected. Now, keep in mind that if you really want change, we all have to get involved. Anyway, that's my summary of the differences in the parties, and you can see the major differences aren't really there. It's just simply the fact that too much big money is going into getting elected. Thank you. Hey, everybody else, you have a good night.